Cardinal right hitter Jamie Drozd took the mic as our correspondent in this week's Cardinal Corner.
I'm Jamie Drozd. I'm a sophomore on the volleyball team, and I'm going to introduce you to the women's volleyball team. All right, I have with me Alyssa Lance. She's a sophomore volleyball player. So I hear the volleyball team has a lot of cheers this year. What's your favorite?
My favorite is probably the one where we go 4 and pretend we're golfing, and then we look for it out into the green.
That's awesome. Are there any other ones?
My other favorite is probably when my teammate Bree yells, "Can I get a hoorah?" and we all yell hoorah like some football players.
That's awesome. Hi, I'm with Brianna Tolliver. She's a sophomore volleyball player. I have one question for you. We have a lot of pregame warm-up song. Is there any particular warm-up song that gets everybody fired up?
I'd have to say the theme song of our team this year is by the Black Eyed Peas, I Got a Feeling. We actually kind of made our own remix to the song that pertains to volleyball. Do you kind of want me to sing it for you a little bit?
Yes, I would love a little bit of a remix.
A little bit? Okay, so it kind of goes, I got a feeling, ooh, that today's gonna be a good game. That today's gonna be a good game. Today's the day. We're gonna win.
We're going to win.
We're about our knee pads.
Let's sweat in them.
Let's sweat and then fill up our bottles.
Gatorade.
G2. That's just a little bit of it. We don't have enough time to do the whole song, but it's pretty good. It gets us all pumped up and ready for the game.
All right. Thank you very much. This is Brianna Tolliver. I'm with Megan Postma. She's a sophomore on the volleyball team. Meg, do you have any pre-game rituals that you do every game, or maybe just for some, maybe conference games?
Well, some people may frequently catch me napping before a game.
What about Mondays on the volleyball team? What are special about Mondays?
Oh, every Monday on the volleyball team we have instituted a crazy spandex day, or just a variation of something other than black spandex. As you can see today, I'm in my gray spandex and Jamie's
I'm in my blue
spandex. It's just something to kick back, have some fun when practice gets a little tiring these days.
All right, thank you. Thank you for joining me today. Make sure you catch the women's volleyball team as we head into conference.
Thank you, Jamie. Clark, let's talk NCC sports. Women's golf, they finished the DePauw University invite in 10th place. They're preparing for the CCIW championships.
Yeah, they've gone through about a 6-week fall season. Seems abbreviated for some sports, but for them in terms of course availability and weather, that's kind of how they have to operate. They finished 3rd last year in the conference championships. It was the highest the program had ever finished in the 12 years or so that we've had women's golf as a varsity sport. They've got 3 really strong golfers at the top end. They're just going to look for somebody else to step up for that final scoring position, see if they can't move up in the standings a little bit.
Certainly. On men's golf, they kind of have 2 seasons as well, like the women's. They're playing in the fall and the spring. What does men's golf look like, and how are they playing in 2 different seasons?
Well, they have an abbreviated fall schedule, and then they'll play the bulk of their matches in their conference championship in the spring. They just came off a 2-day invitational at the University of Dubuque. They had a bit of an issue with the weather there. The first day, the weather was perfect, ideal for playing golf. Sure. The second day, the wind picked up, and scores across the board were a lot higher, so they had to adjust to a very different course the next day, which I think is a good thing for them to have to prepare for as they go through their competition schedule. They're breaking in a lot of new guys in the varsity rotation, so that's another thing that they like to get taken care of in the fall before they really have to get into their championship competitions in the spring.
Sure, and I was going to ask, it's a smaller size roster than maybe even the women's golf team. In golf, though, does it make a difference if you have 6 guys or 20 guys coming out for the team?
Well, it depends on how good they are. If you have, they score 4 golfers in each tournament, you're allowed to play either 5 or 6 depending on the host. And the rest either play as a second team or as individuals. Right. So it doesn't take too much for a small group to make a difference on a golf team, but you know, it definitely helps to have additional golfers to kind of put pressure on them for those varsity positions.
Right. Now over with men's cross country, they last competed at the Illinois Intercollegiates. They finished 1st. They have a long break in between their next meet, which is at Notre Dame. Big atmosphere, big environment. What's that meet going to be like?
It's become one of the premier cross-country meets throughout the country, regardless of division. They have 2 separate divisions. One's primarily for the top elite Division I teams, and then one for the rest of the smaller schools that happen to come in. North Central's been a power in that smaller division for several years now. One thing about that team is they do make sure to test themselves early and often against the top competition, which is why they've been able to hold on to the #1 ranking in Division III for as long as they have.
Right. And last year they did finish that gold division in first place over Grand Valley State. Now women's cross country, they just finished the Forrester Invitational in second place. They will be competing the same day as the men coming up here on October 2nd. Later on in October, they're heading down to the University of Illinois for the Illini Open. Is that maybe the equivalent to the Notre Dame Invitational? A lot of big teams there?
It's not quite on the scale of the Notre Dame meet, but it certainly is a step up in terms of who they're going to be competing against. They've got a lot of young athletes on the varsity roster trying to compete to get onto the varsity roster. So that's going to be an excellent opportunity for them to showcase their fortitude and their ability against a pretty stout field of competition.
Definitely, it should be fun. Clark, thank you very much for joining us today.
You bet.
NCTV 17 is always keeping you connected with your area sports scene. I'm Will Armistead, and thanks for watching the Cardinal Report.